Ethereum might be getting ready for the next push. I don't think the action will necessarily be in Ethereum, but it will signal that it's time to go long altcoins again. Let me show you what I mean. So it's not going to be as good as this killer setup I shared with you a couple of weeks ago. Back then, Ethereum was stuck in a range of just 7.6%. And we said break here could lift things to the upside. That delivered a killer risk reward ratio where when the thing settled, was like a 19, almost a 20x. Okay, so if you put 1K here, you get 20K out of it if you would exit at the very high. Now, something similar is brewing here, but the range is much wider. So you have a head and then sort of left, right shoulder. That's one way of looking at it. I prefer looking at this as an ascending triangle. And normally I would measure the midpoint so I don't get too much of an aggressive target, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to measure the base because the pattern is not as old. This pattern is now, I think, let me see here, 13 days old. The other one was 14 days. These are both young patterns, but we have this working group at the US presidency or US president, US government that is supposed to deliver all these fantastic new policies. So we have the fundamentals driving this. So yeah, I'm bullish here. And what it says is that if we break above here, this ascending triangle pattern triggers. And then one would look to potentially buy here. If it would break out today, then probably stop goes here. And then we target this level here. That will be a 3.5 times reward ratio. Now, there's a few challenges. We have this massive high here that we need to take out. But again, given the backdrop, I'm actually quite bullish here, thinking that this is going to blow past that. And then it might go a little bit higher, even maybe something like this. That gives you a 6.5 times reward ratio. But what's interesting here is not necessarily the fact that this is going to break. What's interesting here is that you do want to keep an eye on all the different altcoins available for you, because when we have Ethereum pushing to the upside, then it's more than likely that all other altcoins are going to follow as well. So this makes this super interesting. And what makes this likely then? Again, the fundamentals and then the fact. I mean, if we look here, this is Bitcoin that we discussed. We did push above these levels. This pattern triggered. Obviously not as good as other patterns we have seen, but we're still in a bullish push here. And from a longer term perspective, as long as trade above, I would say above 101 is bullish, whereas in the short term, we're focusing at 106. So yeah, things are looking good for crypto, and Ethereum is probably the next one that could deliver a solid risk reward ratio setup.